Hey folks, and welcome to the first community-based tour for Sons of the Forest. I'm glad I received this submission, and if you are interested in submitting your own base to show off to our community, I have information about how to do that in the description box below. Now, this subscriber sent me a couple of clips he compiled into one video with audio to provide me with the tour, so I just want to thank him for taking the time to put all of that together. With that, let's get into the base. This base is set up to survive with an emphasis on defense and storage. I'm most interested in these types of bases because their application to the game is necessary. The raids in this game can be quite large and they come in packs. So prioritizing your defenses for these instances is key to ensure your actual base doesn't suffer any damage. I admittedly have gotten lazy with my defense setup and then got my panties all in a twist when the cannibals start destroying my storage shelves. Then there's like literally pieces of inventory that I have to pick up off the ground and rebuild and things like that. So if you're like me, you can learn something here. Prioritize your defenses. As you can see, this base is located on the beach right by the rebreather cave. It's built on the water, and the way it is positioned, it essentially has three sides that are inaccessible to enemies. So for this location, the subscriber really only has to worry about what's right in front of him. Right, so like he's not getting any sneak attacks from the back or the side. It's also worth mentioning that you save yourself time and resources by not having to secure all four sides. You can also achieve this effect by building on a cliff edge or a deep water source. I also like that the footprint of the base is small. It means managing your defenses is literally manageable. With larger base footprints, we really only have the radio trap and I guess to a degree Virginia as the only alert system to alert you that a side of your base is being attacked. So larger base footprints are just harder to guard. Of course, I view things through the lens of playing single player. If you often play multiplayer, then a larger base is more of a necessity. Along the sides of this base, he's got the electroplating device right up against the wall of his base. Now, I brought it up in either my update video when this device was introduced or the video that looked at the upgrading system a little more closely. I can't remember which, but I brought up a Reddit thread where a user said he learned from experience that the beams that shoot out from the device will destroy whatever is built over it. So I followed up with this subscriber and asked if he actually upgraded his weapons at this location because I wanted to know if any damage to his base occurred. He said nope. No damage was done to his base when he upgraded his weapons right along the side of his base. So if you were thinking you have to upgrade your weapons in a wide open area, that does not seem to be the case. You can place a device adjacent to a structure, just don't place anything over it. He has a fish trap directly under his base, and I know there are fish in the ocean, but I never considered placing a trap in the water because most of the time they are in deeper water, so they always seemed inaccessible to me. I didn't realize you could place a trap in fairly shallow ocean water and acquire fish. Okay, so moving along, he keeps his extra solar panels with the batteries alongside the others that power his fence. This is just another clever way to store things. He also has these floating torches, which can be built by stacking sticks, placing a torch on top, then removing the sticks underneath the torch. This is just a shot at night to demonstrate the extra lighting that these floating torches provide. I wanted to talk about the planters because one thing this subscriber mentioned in his audio tour was that you can place the planters on the fence. While he doesn't have it shown, I guess it didn't fit the aesthetic he was going for. I tested it out to provide a visual of what that looks like. I think most people probably do place these planters under the windowsill for their bases, but this gives you another option to place this particular planter. He also made use of the zip line so he can transport himself to nearby resources without exhausting his stamina to get there. For this line, he actually used the dude on the stick as an intermediate end to his line since it's a long route, and that line takes you to some cloth. This one goes to the containers from the crash, and this one goes to the rebreather cave, and then the last one goes to some good loot. Being close to some loot with a variety is up there for the criteria that I refer to when selecting a base location. It's always a plus to select your base where there's loot that respawns every time you load in. Since I play hard survival, I particularly like being close to a place that has loot on the ground, since bin loot doesn't respawn. The last part of the space I want to discuss is the electric fence setup. This subscriber has a 3D or double paned electrified fence. The power source is away from the enemy's reach, and again, this is where he stores his extra solar panels and batteries. He said he specifically built the fence this way to see if it could tolerate the damage the red dude does when he attacks. You know, this heavy-hitting cannibal. He said he is still testing it out, so he is not sure if the 3D fence is stronger than the 2D fence, and we both are unsure if that is something the developers programmed into the game. He did get an attack while he was recording for me, so here's a little bit of what happened. Look at Virginia just sitting there. So during this raid, the player didn't interfere with the attacks at all. Basically, the fence and Virginia were responsible for defending the base against the enemies. He literally didn't need to do anything. So what do you use for your base defense perimeter? Do you also use the electrified fence, or do you place various traps around the base? Perhaps you place a combination of both. Or are you like this girl and built some bases across the world, then got bored with that and focused all of your time building an arena for the end boss fight, stayed on the island and thought, I'll work on my defenses now, and was just utterly shocked when the demon boss spawned in, immediately loading back into that game and completely annihilated your base. Prioritize your defenses, people. Just like this subscriber. I think that's going to do it for today, folks. If you're interested in showing off your base to this community, don't forget to check out the description box for more information. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!